South Africa finds itself in quite an interesting position as far as the relationship between business, labour and government. And I think in any economy, what you want is you want a strong and a robust dialogue, and you want different opinions, and you want some kind of moderation in terms of those opinions. And I think one of the problems that South Africa has had is that the relationship between business and government is one of mistrust. And I think there's a legacy issue from the point of view that business has quite sort of strong foundation in the apartheid era. Obviously, government is mistrusting of that. But I think latterly there's a greater dynamic. And the dynamic that we sit with at the moment is, if you look at that dialogue, government and labour are in an alliance, and specifically COSATU, when we talk about labour. And I think that compromises the dialogue from the point of view that where labour might have a particular view, business might have a different view, government typically should play the role of honest broker, but yet it can't because of the compromised situation it finds itself in as a result of this alliance. And I think that there needs to be more trust, and I think the alliance is an impediment to that trust. How one deals with that, I think, is a different question, because it's a political alliance. It's maybe potentially not even an ideological alliance, but that is something that we need to breach. And I think that business does want to play a role in South Africa. I think that typically business are good citizens. I think that the mistrust issue and probably the rogue behaviour of a minority has maybe compromised that position. But I think there's a lot of good work that business does. I think that business has a lot of good ideas. And I think we all hold the same ideal dear at the end of the day. We all are very patriotic. We're proud of our country. We want to do stuff for it. If you look at some of the major challenges that we're faced with, without any shadow of doubt, the biggest challenge we're faced with is that of unemployment. And I don't think any single party can do that alone. I think if you look at businesses' interests predominantly lie with the profit motive, and cost is a detractor from profit, and labour is a cost. So they have a compromise in terms of addressing unemployment. Then if you look at labour is all about driving cost. They're all about increasing wages and better working conditions. So they look after their own and the working class, which doesn't help the unemployed and mitigates against the unemployment issue. And then you've got government who's in the alliance with labour, and so whose interests do they look after, whereby they should be playing honest broker and looking after the interests of the unemployed. They compromise because of the alliance. So I don't think anything or there's any glue that binds these three parties together, and I think that there needs to be a burying of a parochial hatchet. And I think in terms of that, we need to get together and rally behind one or two major imperatives, which is economic growth, which is the development of small business in South Africa, and all with an aim and objective of uplifting poverty and increasing the employment statistics in our country.